Hi, today I will be explaining my game, Shoot the Monster. Now, it is based on a project in Udemy that I watched. And I like that the game has many advanced features such as different levels and increasing difficulty. Now, I will explain to you the code of this thing. First off, I'll be describing the monster. So these are the initializing stuff to get it to initialize. Then there's the monster active, which sets it to like can be able to attack or be attacked. Now, this is the animation cycle of the monster. That's why there are 3 costumes. Evil Eye 1, Evil Eye 2, and Evil Eye 3. Now, this one will be explained later. Now, when the monster is hit, this is like the time where you cannot really hit it because the monster active is no for a while. And that is when the costume will become Evil Eye hit. Now, this is the you win portion where that will happen if you win. And this is like an animation that like describes the what do you call it? The animation, which is like it expands and turns very fast. Now, here's the level 1. Now, here is where it points in a random direction. And this is where it turns in a forever like motion. And this is the portion where there are like initializing looks. Now, when the monster responds, it will change its costume not to the regular ring, but to the invincible one, because that is when the monster cannot be hit. And this is actually the defense. And when the monster response is complete, it switches costume back to ring 1. And this is what happens when the player wins. It like hides with the monster. Similar codes are in level 2, 3, 4, and 5. But you will notice that they don't have invincible costumes. That's because they don't really need them. Now, the player sprite itself is as complicated as the monsters. Here is the initializing script, where it sets its player direction to direction. Now, in the start game, here are the key presses and what will happen, turning right clockwise and counterclockwise, and then the setting player direction to direction. Now, you will notice that these costumes, they are far away from the center, which is here. So when there is the center and it's being rotated, then it will rotate around the center, not just rotate. And here is when the player gets hit by the monster, setting ghost effect to 100, and then like getting and then fading back in. And this is what happens when the player wins. Now, these are the bullets fired by the player. The can fire is whether the player can fire. And this is the bullet spawning script. And this is when it's set to yes and no, when the game is started and you win. Now this is the main bullet script. When it starts as a clone, it like initializes itself and then does some stuff. And then when forever it moves until it reaches the monster or the defenses. If it's the monster, then it will trigger the monster hit. And if it will touch the defenses, it will not touch the monster and will simply explode. Next is the messages. Now these are the ones that say level 1, level 2, level 3, etc., etc. This is the initializing one, where it sets the level to 1. And then when it starts, it broadcasts level 1. And this is where it glides to like this value, 1, 160, negative 160. Then during the monster respawn, it changes its costume because it's the next level. And then when you win, it's the you win symbol, and vice versa for the game over. Now, why are these scripts unused? Because I found a faster way to do such a thing by broadcasting join level, which will have a similar effect. Now, this is the monster's health bar. So when the flag is clicked, it will switch costume to full and hide, and it will show when it is started, the level 1 costume. Now, this is the monster hit, where it calculates the amount of health left by the monster, and so it changes its next costume among its health bar ones. And else, the monster is like 0 health, and the broadcast is monster respawn, which respawns the monster and then turns it into invincible for a while. But otherwise, I will win. The player will win. And when the player will win, it hides. Now this is the monster bullet. When the flag is clicked, it initializes by hiding. And when there is like a level, there will be a shoot every number of seconds. And it is explained here, where it waits and then creates clone of myself. This script, the when I start as a clone, is like the main bullet script, so that it like fires from the monster. And then if touching player, then it will explode. But if it touches the edge, it will simply be deleted to avoid overload. Now, here are the I discussed that already. Then this one is to stop the monster bullet fires and then delete the clone. But there needs to be many of these, because the stop other scripts in sprite, it stops everything except that script. So everything needs to be restarted. Now this is the explode cycle for when it touches the player. It looks something like this. You cannot see it. I will just put it in some place. explode. There. It happened in a fraction of a second. Now, there is also a monster bomb where it shoots bombs every like so and so. So when the flag is clicked, it is hidden. But when it's like the level 1, it shoots every 5 seconds. Then it decreases over time. The shoot every X seconds block is borrowed from the monster bullet sprite. Now, when it starts as a clone, it will like move until it touches the player, and then it will stop after around 150x is reached. Then when I start as a clone, this is like the ticking time bomb feature, where each step it gets more vulnerable to explode. You see here, explode. Now this one is when it will broadcast the player hit, or when the player's health bar will go down. I'll explain that a little later. There's like the bullet, there's also the exploding like factor of the bomb. Now this is the play button. It's the simplest of all of the codes, because it's just like it will show when the green flag is clicked and hide when the game is started. Now the player life, this is another easy one. Since when green flag clicked, it will switch costume to full, and then show when it reaches level 1 and hide when it says you win. And finally, the player hit, it is the next costume, and then broadcast game over, which will say game over. Okay, I will demonstrate the game once more, but I will hack the defenses so that it will be like shorter. Now where is it? There. I will switch it to 1 for the moment so you can enjoy my gameplay. All right. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.